Bryce Mitchell as the worst. He's the worst fighter in 145. He took him down and like hold him. I mean, I can tell he's not high level. I can't wait to show like.
It all began with a scene that no one expected to unfold outside the octagon, a heated airport confrontation between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan that immediately set the MMA world buzzing. Passengers and onlookers watched as voices were raised and tensions escalated to the point where you could almost feel the hostility radiating through the terminal. The moment didn't stay private for long. Within hours the footage had gone viral across social media, sparking debates and speculation. Everywhere Joe Rogan wasted no time jumping into the conversation, describing the encounter as wild, intense, and a sign of just how personal rivalries in the UFC have become. He even joked that these two fighters didn't need a press conference to sell a fight because the drama was practically writing itself before the UFC could even make an announcement. But beyond the viral clip, there's been a bigger story brewing for weeks. Tsarukyan has been relentless on social media, repeatedly calling out Topuria, throwing verbal jabs, and doing everything in his power to bait the champion into a title fight. He even upped the ante by suggesting a handshake bet with a staggering $500,000 on the line if either man loses. Topuria, however, hasn't seemed too eager to bite, with most fans predicting his next title defense might instead come against either Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje. Still, Chael Sonnen has been stirring the pot from the sidelines, claiming that behind the scenes the UFC is actively working to lock in Tsarukyan versus Topuria before the year ends. According to Sonnen, his information comes directly from sources connected to Tsarukyan's camp, and he insists this isn't just hype, it's in motion. If it happens, it would be a high-stakes clash of fighting styles and combustible personalities that's already been building through months of online back and forth. Sonnen even compared Topuria's approach to Anderson Silva's old tactic of publicly rejecting fights at first only to eventually sign the contract. For Tsarukyan, finally getting a title shot would mean more than just a belt, it would be a redemption arc. His career has seen its share of setbacks, including the sting of missing weight in a high-profile fight, but in recent months he's been working to prove his professionalism. He stepped in as a backup fighter, made weight without issue, and demonstrated a renewed focus. Meanwhile, as this MMA rivalry heated up, another story in the fighting world was capturing hearts for very different reasons. Former fighter Ben Askren has been battling back from a life-threatening health crisis that nearly claimed his life just days after being discharged from the hospital following a rare double lung transplant. Askren was readmitted over fears of a possible chest tube infection. Fans feared the worst, but from his hospital bed Askren addressed his supporters, directly confirming the scare but also delivering good news. He was making progress even more inspiring. He shared a clip of himself walking laps around the hospital, marking the first time fans had seen him up and moving since emerging from a 45-day coma. The comments section was flooded with messages of encouragement from fighters, friends, and fans around the world, a testament to the respect and admiration he's earned over the years.
I just want to give an update on how I'm doing. Everything is going pretty well. I got another tube out, only have one tube left, and I wanted to make a reflection with where I was listening to everything else, which was Father's Day. So I'll read you this journal entry from our friend Amber. I actually thought my wife wrote it. That was a mistake. So there really hasn't been any big updates on a few days.
Been home for 4 days now. It's awesome. Sleep in my own bed, eat my own food, hang out with my family. It's great. That being said, I still have so many physical challenges to deal with. I'm still down about 35 pounds from where I should be. I gotta walk with a walker. I can't walk. Can't walk. This 5 pound weight, this is actually hard for me to curl, right? And, you know, right before I had to go to the hospital, and I didn't. Warm me down.
No one's ready for that. Give her a moment. Yeah!
Askren hasn't shied away from reflecting on the uphill battle he's still facing. In candid updates, he admitted he's currently about 35 pounds under his normal weight and still dealing with significant physical challenges that make every step a fight, yet the determination in his words is impossible to miss. He spoke openly about the frustration of not only fighting for his health but also navigating the insurance system that initially denied his life-saving transplant, calling it a sad example of how bureaucracy can fail people when they need help the most. Despite those setbacks, his recent videos show a man slowly but surely reclaiming his strength. It's a reminder that the nickname Funky has always been about more than his unconventional wrestling style. It's about a spirit that refuses to break no matter the odds. While Askren's recovery inspired fans, the MMA world was hit with another wave of excitement as Israel Adesanya confirmed his long-awaited return to the UFC. The former middleweight champion didn't just make the announcement, he backed it up with fresh sparring footage alongside fellow champion Alexander Volkanovski, filmed inside the familiar walls of City Kickboxing in Auckland. The video captured two of the sport's sharpest strikers in a controlled yet razor-sharp training exchange. The timing of the clip was no accident. It dropped just days after Adesanya's comeback announcement, signaling that camp had already begun in earnest. Volkanovski even admitted afterward that he struggled to land clean shots, a rare statement from a man known for his precision and one that fueled speculation that Adesanya may be returning in the sharpest form. We've seen fans are now left guessing who his next opponent will be, but one thing is certain: the footage alone was enough to send a clear message to the entire division. Israel Adesanya is coming back, and he's coming back dangerous.
Feeling fatigued in the last round with Trickus?
There was one point in the third round where me and him, we really put it on, and we kind of had this agreement like, okay, you're fucked, I'm fucked, let's chill for a little bit. And then round 4, I came out, cool, bam, 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 and I did that sprawl on him. But again, he's so stubborn, because I sprawled on him, like he shot, my hips hit the back of his head into the mat. Might have rocked him, I don't know. And then Mark Goddard's like, get up. He's on one knee. And then when he was like, get up, and he finally decided to get up slowly, and I tried to attack him, he just threw.
Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
He's back, and he's not easing into it. Alex Pereira is in the spotlight once again, this time sharing training footage that leaves no doubt about his priorities. The clips show him zeroing in on wrestling defense, grinding through sessions with a heavyweight training partner, digging into intense clinch work, and even sparring in the snow with former champion Glover Teixeira. This isn't just a highlight reel for fans, it's a response. His last fight with Magome Ankalaev exposed some defensive vulnerabilities, and Pereira is making targeted adjustments to patch every gap, while analysts like Aljamain Sterling have raised concerns that Pereira's busy travel and media schedule might disrupt his preparation. His teammates insist he's harder to take down than ever and even more dangerous on his feet. The talk of a rematch is already heating up, and by the look of his training, Pereira is preparing as if it's not a matter of if but when. The bantamweight division is also buzzing. Merab Dvalishvili is set to face Corey Sandhagen for the title, and both men have been vocal in the build-up. Sean O'Malley, who lost to Merab earlier this year, has thrown himself into the conversation, calling for a fight with Sandhagen before the year's end. Sandhagen has brushed off the idea of an immediate O'Malley rematch, but O'Malley fired back, saying he's bored and ready to fight anyone. The trash talk has added more heat to an already stacked division, and fans are eating it up in the middleweight picture. Dricus Du Plessis has been open about how Israel Adesanya was the toughest opponent he's ever prepared for. Their UFC 305 clash ended with Du Plessis winning by a rear-naked choke in the 4th round, the first submission loss of Adesanya's UFC career. Du Plessis called Adesanya unpredictable and dangerous, but admitted other fights like his wars with Sean Strickland and Brad Tavares were more physically punishing. Despite the pre-fight trash talk, the two shared mutual respect afterward, with Du Plessis even gifting Adesanya a custom jacket. Now Du Plessis is preparing to defend his belt against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. Chimaev's camp has taken a different approach, this time working with renowned strength coach Sam Kalavita. He's focusing on lactic threshold training and high-volume endurance work, all aimed at giving him a gas tank that can last 5 rounds. It's a big shift from the explosive but short-lived pace he's known for. TJ Dillashaw, who connected Chamid with Kalavita, believes the change could be a game changer, but not everyone agrees. Michael Bisping has warned that altering a fighter's natural style too much can backfire, stripping away the very weapons that make them dangerous. Luke Rockhold echoed the caution, saying Chamov's killer instinct in the opening rounds is one of his greatest assets. Even so, training footage shows Chamid grinding through brutal cycling sessions and hypoxic drills, taking the challenge seriously. Whether it pays off against a relentless pressure fighter like Du Plessis remains the big question. Du Plessis has already proven he can keep a relentless pace deep into championship rounds. If Chamid can match that without losing his finishing ability, we could be looking at a fight of the year contender. Taken together, the airport brawl between Topuria and Tsarukyan, Ben Askren's remarkable recovery, Adesanya's return, Pereira's adjustments, the bantamweight title drama, and Chamov's transformation. It's clear the UFC landscape is shifting by the week for Joe Rogan. Moments like the Topuria Tsarukyan confrontation are just the tip of the iceberg. They add raw, unscripted energy that fans can't get enough of, blurring the line between professional rivalry and pure emotion. And if Chael Sonnen's prediction is right and these two do meet before year's end, the airport incident will be remembered as the opening chapter in a fight fans will talk about for years. There's also an unspoken factor hanging over that airport moment: ego management when the cameras aren't rolling. Rumors suggest both camps feel disrespected, and that makes every stare down, every comment, and every leaked clip carry extra weight. If a fight gets booked, the mental warfare will start long before the first walkout. In today's fight game, controlling the narrative often means controlling the pace once the cage door shuts, and if more fans' hot footage or security clips trickle out, the hype will grow naturally without a single promo. That's the kind of slow burn that turns a fight into an event. The UFC's packed calendar will also play a role. Reports say the promotion wants champions active and storylines clear, which could push Topuria toward the biggest business move rather than the loudest call-out. Tsarukyan knows this, which is why he's talking money, legacy, and risk in every interview. It's leverage keeping his name tied to the champ. If negotiations stall, expect more bit-sized moments. Sparring teases locker room quotes, carefully leaked training clips to keep the pressure on. That's how contenders stay unavoidable for fans. The takeaway is simple: chaos fuels clarity. The airport clash showed just how thin the line is between calculated rivalry and raw emotion. If the UFC turns that spark into a sanctioned showdown, the questions will write themselves. Can Tsarukyan's relentless pace crack Topuria's precision, or can Topuria's timing shut down Tsarukyan's engine before it redlines? Until a contract is signed, all we have are flashes of what might happen when they finally share the cage, and if that day comes this year, the airport will be remembered as the true first bell.